Excellent. So some of the roles that we discussed yesterday were the role of the tester, the developer, the project manager, the business analyst, right? So these are some of the roles that we discussed. In addition to this, we discussed the role of a designer, right? And we discussed what are the trending technologies that we have that we need for this particular role. Okay, so this is what we have discussed till now. And the trending technologies, what all are required, have been covered. So the next thing that we are going to be covered was, how we can do the Tableau installation. So we tried to do the Tableau installation yesterday, and I hope by now everybody has it on your system. You've been able to successfully install it, right? So now I will share my screen and do a quick recap of what we have covered yesterday. And then from there on, start with the new topics today. I'll request all of you to, this is a tool. So like any other tool, if you do the hands-on, it is really useful for you to pick up that tool much more quicker, right? So that will really help you. So I'm going to share my screen sharing that, and I hope it is visible now. So this is something we discussed yesterday, that Tableau is a visual analytical tool. It helps you to present the large and the complex data, right? Large and complex data into a very simple readable format. Everybody knows that a picture speaks 1,000 words, right? If I show you a picture and if I show you something which is not a picture, right, a plain text, you will agree with me that the picture will make much more sense to you rather than the words. Why? Because as I said, the picture gives you much more better illustration, much more better idea, right? So we discussed why do we need Tableau. These were the different options that we had with Tableau. As you can see on my screen, the speed is very good. It's a user friendly. There is a very direct connection that we have. It has an easy, eye-catching interactive dashboard. Some of you actually asked me, what is the benefit of using the Tableau over the Excel sheets? And I told you that the speed is very striking feature that we have got. In addition to the speed, if you all remember, we discussed that whenever it comes to Tableau, it can help you create very interactive dashboards, right? So that is another purpose of benefit of using the Tableau. So the other thing that we discussed was the different products of Tableau. So this is the different versions. You can see different products of Tableau, as you can all see. So we've got the Tableau desktop, that is the first one. Then we've got the Tableau public online server, reader, and the prep, right? This was a slide which we referred yesterday to do the installation. And this is how you will now, once the Tableau is installed on your system, this is how you will open it. Can you all search this and open this for me quickly? Let's quickly do this. And if your Tableau is started, please write done so that I can go ahead. Okay, good number of done. So that shows many of you have already installed also. And now I'm glad to know that you have also opened the Tableau. Okay, so we would need it throughout the training today. Let's get it ready. Okay, right. So yesterday we discussed that these are the different sources, data sources from which you can import the data. You can get the data from Excel, text files, JSON, Microsoft Access, PDF files, spatial files, and the statistical files. We try to understand what are the steps. Can anybody write in the chat what are the 3 steps that you do when you have a data set in Tableau? Anyone? Please write down the 3 steps quickly. So I want to talk to you, interact with you, speak to you, listen to you. We discussed that, will be 200, 300 people plus in this session. It will not be very effective. But what exactly are the 3 steps when you have a data set? What you should do? Can you please quickly write it down, and then I can discuss quickly based on your chats. Excellent. So the 3 steps are, first of all, you will connect to the data source. Very well done. The next step is that you will apply some visualization technique. But before that, you will need to import the data set and find out what all are the different columns that you will be taking out of that data set. So having said that, that means you will be choosing some dimensions and measures. And finally, you are going to apply the visualization technique. So these are some of the steps, guys, that we will be following. So the sample data, I shared it with you yesterday, the CSV file. And this was the comparison of Excel, the live and extract data. We looked into the different types of Tableau, the 6 data types of Tableau. Now in the chat, can you give me the examples of all these different data types one by one? Maybe number, you can give an example, roll number. String, what should be the example of this? Date, what is the example? What can be an example of geographic? Boolean, date and time. Can you put it in the chat, please? 6 examples. Number could be ID, anything. I'm waiting for you. Put it in one part of your chat, please. Excellent. Such a quick response I'm getting. You guys are really powered up for the session today. Really happy to see this. Waiting for many answers now, quickly. Excellent, excellent, good guys. I've got the answer. So date, I've got some answers like 30th of March 2022. Numbers is 44467. Then you've got the string, which is the name. Okay, Shivam, reading yours. Very good. Geographic coordinates, Madhya Pradesh, Boolean true, date and time you can give specifically. So very well done. So these are some of the Tableau's data types that you use. Excellent. And the values are now very clear in your mind. Now, how you view the data is very important. This is how you can drag and drop the values. We discussed this yesterday, so I'm going to repeat these steps. All those who were not able to do this yesterday, please do it now. Click on this Microsoft Excel, and then wherever your Tableau data set is there, please select that, click on open. As you click on open, you will see an option of processing request. It will execute the query, and then you can see the time duration in which it will bring it for you. Can you all see this option, everybody? Data set I have already given Avinash yesterday, but if you need it, let me close my data set and provide it to you again. So guys, I'm going to just give you my data set again today. One more time, I'm going to place it 2-3 times so you can download it from here. Okay. Avinash, please try this. Do you have it now? It's just now uploaded. I'm just putting it multiple times because sometimes, in the chat, it might disappear. You got it, Avinash. Okay, glad to know. Others, I'm putting in multiple times, guys. I put a loop around now. Adding multiple times just to make sure at least you can see that in the chat properly. Yes? The Tableau PDF, don't worry, Sumit. What I'm going to do is towards the end of the session, I'm going to provide it to you. Okay. So worst case, even if you don't have this Tableau data set, it's okay. Just follow the instructions for now, or from the internet, download any Tableau sample data set. Just write down sample Tableau data set for practice. You should get it. So this is the orders thing. Drag and drop it over here. And can you see it is saying processing requests? So yesterday we discussed what all different things you can do in a column. You can sort it, you can create aliases, you can copy the values, you can rename it, you can hide the values. There are some geographic roles which you can give, right? So these are the multiple things that you can do. Similarly, if you right click on this one, you can get these different options. Now, I discussed with you how we can navigate from one tab to the other. So over here, this is the data source tab. Can you see this cursor over here? This is the sheet 1. You will click on the sheet 1. This is the interface which I explained yesterday. So what I want you to do now is, I want you to show me segment wise sales. Let me see how many of us can do this. Segment wise sales. What you are going to do is the segment wise sales. The rows or the columns, I can take it as segment. And then can you see this sales? The moment I drag it and put it over here, it shows you the segment by sales. So there are 3 segments that we have. One is consumer, the other is corporate, and the other is home office. In the consumer, you can see that there is a hover and some information in the tooltip. Segment is consumer, sales is 161,401. Then over here, the sales is segment is corporate, sales is 706. Over here, it is home office 429. So can you see these different sales, guys? Yes. Now, just one thing that I wanted to tell you was here is to just click on these different options and right click and see there is an option where you can exclude these options. So see over here, if I just right click and exclude. So in that case, if I click on exclude, the corporate section will go away. It will not be visible again. Okay. Is that clear, everybody? Any questions on this? Okay. So these are the different graphs that we started to plot yesterday. So view data, we looked into different things, how we can hide the data, how we can rename, copy, and split. This assignment is what we did yesterday. So how do we sort it in the ascending, descending order? We'll cover this as well. And I was showing you yesterday the sort buttons which are available here. So see, if I want to sort it based on the sales, you can click on this button. And can you see this graph is moving? Right? So this is about sorting the data. I hope it is clear. These are the different options we discussed yesterday. And you can drag and drop and create a hierarchy of the fields as well by dropping one field into the another field. That is also possible. The next thing that we have is that you can create an auto hierarchy for the date fields. So in this case, if you remember, we discussed that you can have a column with the year, order, date, and sum of sales. This is again something that we yesterday did, isn't it? So this is something which is clear. Now, the next thing that we are going to talk about is how do you create discrete and continuous graphs? Before that, what is the difference between discrete and continuous graphs? So you can see that on my screen on the left-hand side and the right-hand side are 2 graphs. The left one says it's a discrete graph and the right one says it's a continuous graph. So does anybody know what is the difference between discrete and continuous? Can you put it in the chat? Let's talk about it, discrete and continuous graphs. And any examples if you can give. Any example? Discrete functions, they are used for things like, for example, the number of televisions, number of puppies that are born in a particular country. So graph like scatter plots, they are all some examples of discrete graphs. Okay, so discrete data is a kind of a numerical type of data. It will have whole, it will have concrete numbers, it will have fixed data values. Continuous data, on the other hand, is a complex number. It has varying data values and something which is measured over the specific period of time. I hope that is clear. So continuous things could, examples could be, glad to see your charts. Very good, everyone. So examples could be the height, the weight, the temperature, the length. This is all example of continuous data, right? There might be some continuous data that will definitely change over time. For example, you're analyzing the weight of a baby, a newborn who's born. So the graph will have a different trend, right? Baby in the first year to the temperature in the room throughout the day. So the things might be little different, but that is the whole idea of a discrete and continuous graph. So Tableau also has a way to compare the one particular segment with segments with other segments, and how you can do it by grouping the segments. Now this is the exercise, this is the activity which I am expecting all of you to do it now quickly. Can you make exactly the same graph like this? And if you have done it, let me reset my chat counter. From now on, we're going to do many things on our own. So you can see sum of sales and region wise group. And I've got central, east, and the south. Can you tell me how many of you have been successfully able to plot it? And I'll wait for all of you. Please write done in the chat if it is working. Excellent. In a very short span of time, 30-40 chats are here. So you're able to write, get something similar to this, right? Shall we try it together? So what it says in the columns, you will take sum of sales. I'm going to delete this. Whenever you want to make a new graph, just delete it. So what does it say you need to take? Sum of sales. And then if you refer to my slide, it says region by wise group. So many times when there are so much columns, you cannot find it, just search it. Okay. This is how you can do it, guys. Okay, got it, Abhin? Wonderful. Please try it now. 2 minutes of time I'll give you. Excellent. Many of us have done, so that means a good time for us to go ahead. So the next things that we are going to discuss here is how do you group through the data pane. So you can see that in the data pane option where you can right click on the dimension in which you want to create a group and select the option. So this is the option and this is the option. Right click on this and you can see this group. Everybody can find this. I'm giving you a minute. Please quickly let me know if it is done. And click on the group. And what does it do? As you click on the group option, you can see it has grouped up this data. Similarly, you can select this option and you can select this, right click on this, and whatever is already grouped, you can ungroup it by clicking on this ungroup option. Okay, so click on this ungroup option and it will not group anything. Okay. The next slide. In this slide, we are going to talk about when you are connecting to the data source Tableau, it is going to give you different fields. What are the different fields? The first field is the number of records. Second is the longitude. Third is the latitude. The next is the measure value and the measure name. So this is how you can optimize the different value, utilize the different values. Years of ship date and the measure values in the columns and the rows. Can you try this and make this line graph and tell me if it is all up and running and it is working? Done, everybody? No questions? Okay. So you need to plot a line graph with the columns as the year, ship date, and the rows as the measure value. That is how it will work. And you can add some discrete and continuous values as well. So discretes are the ones which are highlighted in blue, and the continuous are the ones which are highlighted in green. Good. So this is the assignment which we will do later. We will come back to this in some time, but let's continue on this. I'll give you good 10 minutes to complete this assignment, but let's move on to some slides before we come back to the assignment. So this is how we can add the parameters. Parameters are those dynamic values that can help you replace the constant values in the calculations or filters, right? We can add a chart or you can add any dynamic value. Can you all plot this graph quickly? Subcategory and sum of sales. Please write done if you have done, so we can go ahead. Superb. So columns are sum of category and rows are the sum of sales. Excellent. That is how you can add the different parameters. Good job. Now you can create multiple sets. What is the value of sets? You know, what is the benefit of set? Whenever you want to highlight a specific number of values in the chart, you can create a set, right? Can you all quickly check this and write done in the chat? Simple, straightforward slide it is. Please follow the instructions. Excellent. Sum of sales and sum of category, and you were able to create the set. Okay, good. So I'll share the slides with you. There is a shortcut method also which you can refer, and this is the assignment for which the sets can be created. You can use the combine method in which you can see the collective analysis on the field. You can compare the region wise, category, subcategory wise. So combined fields will help you there. You can add the titles and the different captions. So this is how the title looks like, category wise sales, and the captions can be added. Tableau also helps you to export the data. So let's say, you want to export that data into any PDF, Excel, PowerPoint, Access or Word document, you will be able to do it. Okay, is that clear, everyone? No questions? So now what we are going to do is we are going to work on that assignment. I'll give you good 10 minutes to finish that assignment so that you have no questions. If we continuously keep on doing the slides, then it is not very good idea. So we jumped one exercise, which is a straightforward one. I'm going to go back to that slide very quickly. Yeah. 4 questions. I think 10 minutes should be a good time. So we can start discussing in 10 minutes this assignment, how we can do this. So maybe 6:50 is a good time when we can start discussing how to solve this problem. All right. So if you have done this, still keep writing done in the chat. Give your best shot. Try to do it in the best possible way. All right. Let's try. So let's start discussing this in 10 minutes. 10 minutes will give you a sufficient time, good time to make sure that you have properly, conveniently finished this particular assignment. All right, let's try this quickly in the class, and there'll be some assignments which I will give you as a homework, right? That will be our later assignments. All right, 6:50 guys, we'll start discussing. Okay. Excellent. So based on the chats, I can see, let's come back. So based on the chat, I can see many of you were able to do this, but I'm going to still explain you how we can solve this assignment. So after that, if it is clear in your mind, then Sahiba done, Nazma done. Okay, excellent. So I'm going to help you now. It says display year-wise sales, discount, profit, and quantity using measure names. Display sales using the hierarchy for region, segment, category, and subcategory. Create a horizontal bar chart to represent subcategory sales. All stationery related subcategories like paper, label should be grouped as stationery. Represent subcategory wise profit in graphical manner arranged in descending order. So see guys, first of all, whenever you are doing such kind of a work, you will do something like this. You need to first of all understand properly as to what will come in the columns field and what will come in the rows field. Okay, that is the first thing. Right. The second thing that you have to remember is that once the rows and columns are clear in your mind, then what you need to do is after that, you need to find out which is the best plot for that. So for example, it says year wise, I want to get the sales, discount, profit, and quantity. So I need multiple things, right? So what we can do in this one, I'll give you some examples now. So I'm going to just get rid of these ones, just send it back. And what we actually need is, first of all, sales, discount, profit, quantity. So, and this has to be grouped by what? Using the measure names. So what I'm going to do, take this off from here. We need sales. We need discount. We need profits. We need quantity. Right? These are the different things we need. And then maybe probably, you know, based on the category, you can take it. Category, which is this one. Okay. Now see, is this what you understood? Clear everybody now? So this is the way in which you can complete these assignments. Now let us look at the next assignment. Display sales using the region, segment, category. So what will be in your columns and the rows? Can anybody explain? You will have region, sales, segment, and category. And based on that, you will get the information. Okay, so try to complete this. What we will do is towards the end of this slide, you will see some answers of these slides, but just give it one good shot. Okay, try your best. Okay, let's move into the next one. There are different types of cards and shelf option which are available. So these various sections of Tableaus are called as cards. So what are these different cards? Marks card, page card, filter card, row card, column card, and they are all very, very useful and important. Okay, clear everybody? Wonderful. So we now take a quick 15 minutes break, and then once we come back from the break, we will resume and continue with the Tableau slides, right? So what I can do, yes, Kishore, we can take definitely the direct measure name also you can take. That is not a problem. Okay. All right, guys, I hope everybody is back from the break and we can now resume. Any questions do you have in any of the slides that we have covered? Ajit, any questions? Ajit, Avin, Asim, any questions, anyone? So now what we are going to do is I'm going to share my screen and let me know if it is visible. Okay. Let me know if the screen is visible. So the next couple of things that we are going to look at now is the cards and shelves. If you are taking this session from the mobile phone and you're not doing these exercises parallelly, obviously the things will be wavy. You need to do these steps with me so that it is clear. Okay, towards the end, maybe the assignment question is not clear. No problem. So what we can do is those assignment questions we can revisit one more time. All right, is that clear? Avin, which slide is not clear? Can you be specific? What exactly is not clear? Okay, assignment questions, for example, somebody is mentioning those questions, I can do it. Okay, years and measure part is not clear. Did you try to do this exercise? Have you done it? Okay. I cannot see your screen because I need to go ahead, but I can go to the years and category slide quickly and do this step with you and show it to you. Please look it very carefully, right? And then we can go ahead. So here you can see that I am drawing a line graph with the years, the ship date. So all that I had asked you all to do was in the columns, you will drag and drop. The document will be shared after the session. Please don't ask about the document again and again. The PDF file I'll share. PPT will be given to you after the session. The assignments will be uploaded. Everything will be provided. Just focus on in taking as much as you can from this session. Okay. All right. All right. Thank you, everybody. So columns is the year, ship date, and the measure values is the rows. So what we need to do is in order to plot this graph, did we all go to, let's go to the Tableau, create one sheet, a new sheet like this, right? Take off this values. Now, what does it say? It says that you need to take year's ship date. So in this why year ship date, because we have some kind of a data which is there in our Excel sheet, which are the CSV file which I'm using, which is called as the year ship date. So I dragged the ship date from here. And then what next we have to do? We need to measure the name and we need to measure a particular value on a single graph. So what you can do is now in the rows, if you put multiple values, for example, you put a value, let's say sum or discount or multiple things. So I'll show it and do it and show it to you. So you got this sales. I'll take the sales and I'll put over here. You can see that the sales have been plotted. Avin, are you doing the steps with me now? Yes, done till here? Okay, is it clear now? Should be done. Okay, do these steps with me if you have not been able to do. Drag the profit in the rows. Do you see some values here? Correct. Drag the discount from here and drag it. And do you see this different? So what is happening is a kind of a dashboard, kind of a structure is getting constructed, which is helping us to get meaningful insights from this graph. Okay, is that clear now? Okay, we'll go to a couple of next slides now. So discrete and the continuous graphs we have already discussed. We have seen that how we can plot them. And now the title is the very important thing. We many times, we cannot survive with a graph without any title. So let's say I wanted to add the title and caption. It says go to the worksheet and click on the show caption option. So let us do this slide together. I'm going to create a new sheet. Everyone, please create a new sheet. Create it. So once this is done, what is the next step? It says take the column as subcategory. Can you please follow these instructions? Take the column as subcategory. This is the subcategory and I'll put it in the columns. What's the next step? It says take the rows as sum of sales. Okay, we got this graph. Now, what is the next option? Just if you look at the slide, that's the reason I'm sharing the slide so you can refer it. If you click on the worksheet and you can see the show caption option, click on this. Did you click on the show caption option, everybody? So this is the place where the caption can be shown. You can get the summary generated. You can have the cards option if it is required. This is the place where you can add multiple values. Okay, is that now clear? So after the titles and the captions, this slide is telling us that the graphs, multiple graphs can be cards. We have a different topic, Kirti. We will cover cards in a minute. So this slide tells us that in Tableau, you can export multiple data that you have. This data can be sent all the way to a PDF file. It can be sent all the way to an Excel file, CSV file, a Word document as well. These are the multiple places where this data can go. I'm going to show the steps to you now, and I then request all of you to do this as well. Okay. So where do you see the export option? All those who did this slide with me before. Where is the export? Quickly, let me see how many have already found out the export option. Anyone found the export option? Quickly in the chat, you can mention. Okay, I'm going to answer. Okay, I've got some chats now. Very good. In the file option. Okay, so click on the file option, and then where do we go in the file option? Save to. Yes, very good. So save to option will give you the option to save it in multiple formats. But you all can see that you are getting these options, isn't it? Yes, that's the problem. So, but in the worksheet tab, under the worksheet tab, if you go, some of you saying worksheet. Okay, let's click on the worksheet. And where do we go in the worksheet? Export. Very good. But currently you can see that this export option is missing. So all what you can do, as I was explaining before, is you can file as save to a specific location. In terms of exporting this, because we are on a trial version, it will not allow us to export. Is that clear, everybody? No questions? Okay. Now the next thing that we are going to do, but I hope everybody has been able to locate it, right? Okay, clear, everybody? Okay, let's go to the next slide if you all are ready now. And in the next slide, we are going to look into the, let's move to the next slide. That is granularity. Granularity means breaking down the data. So the data can be broken down into smaller parts using the granularity approach. And how do we find it? How we can do that? Simple. I want all of you to do this with me. If you do this only, then you will understand. Otherwise, you will have and listen to it and then you'll forget it. So the first thing that you all have to do, simple, drag the sum of sales in the column. Drag the sum of sales into the columns. Have you all done that? And then rows into sum of profit and select the scatter plot. Okay. And do you get a graph something similar to this? Okay, everybody. Right. So granularity. Now moving on to the cards. Now I can make you understand how cards concept works. So you can see that there are various sections of the Tableau worksheets. They are called as cards. What are the different options? You've got something called marks card, something like page card, filter, row, column. Now let's try to see them practically. There are these different cards present. So I'll go to my Tableau worksheet and click on this worksheet option and click on show cards. If you see this option, can you write done, please? Show cards option. Excellent. In a very short span of time, I can see that many of you have been able to at least find this option, right? So you clicked on the worksheet, clicked on the show cards, and these are the different cards options that are available. Now, how do we make cards? What is the benefit of cards? Let's try to understand what is the big benefit of cards. You know, many times during the elections, you know, you want to find out a quick summary of something. You want to find out which particular party is getting what kind of score. So what you can do, you can create multiple cards, and that card will give you a overall value or calculated value, so that you can find out all of the information in one specific area. Okay, so that is the main benefit of creating a card. Clear, everybody? Can we try to make some cards now so that we can get some better understanding? I request everybody to create a new sheet again. On the show cards option, click all the different cards that you have. Okay, please follow these instructions so that we don't miss anything. And write done so that I know we are going at a good speed. Please write down, I'm waiting. All right, so done the steps till here. Now I want all of you to drag maybe a segment from here to the pages tab. Pages tab. And also add the region. So you can add the segment and the sales. Now listen to this instruction very carefully. Drag and drop it all the way here. I'll repeat the steps. Drag and drop this from the here. Right? So these are the different ways in which the cards can be created. You can go to features tab. You can get the scorecards added. You can get the scorecard menus. So this is a very brief nutshell overview of how these different cards can be added. Okay. So in detail, as we progress, we are going to look at the different ways that these cards can be very useful in creating, right? And on these different cards, again, you can hide a row, you can exclude a particular value, you can get rid of a particular value. These are the different things which you can do, right? So for example, if I drag this region all the way from here to the marks, you can see that some kind of an information has come up. Can you see that, everyone? Similarly, if I take the category or subcategory and drag and drop into the marks, this region, can you see this different information which is being displayed? Right? You can change the colors, you can change the labels, lot of different things can be done. Can you see this option? Color, label, size, tooltip. Right, everybody? Okay, so that was a brief overview of the cards. Clear, everybody? Okay, let's go to the next slide. The other things that we can do using the Tableau tool, which is quite intuitive, very powerful, is how you can add the format of the data in multiple ways, right? So format of the data means you can change the font, the alignment, the sheet colors, the borders. These are the different things that you can do, right? As per the Tableau sheet. Now what we are going to do is we are going to see how we can use these formatting options. So let's all go to the format option. This format option here. Right? And in the format option, next thing what we can do is, can you see the different options like font? Let's do one thing to make it better clear, no, to see the changes and all. We will select the sales option over here. We will select the segment or maybe the subcategory here. Done. And you can see this format options now. Can you click on this font? I'll repeat the steps. Click on format, click on font. Click on the format and font and write done if you're doing these steps with me, so that I can know that you are all doing these steps. So click on this font option and it shows you different options. In these different options, it shows you what is the default, total, and the grand total. So from here, you can select which worksheet you are in, select the different colors. Now I will change the colors of the labels to, let's say, red. As I click on it, can you see the different colors? They have got changed into red. Sonu done, Rajesh done, Shruti, Simran done. Good job. Thank you for writing done. Now listen to these instructions carefully. I'll give you time to finish it. Okay, let's first understand this. So the colors have now changed. Now going to the rows, you can see the rows also you can have a change, and the column levels also you can make the modifications. You have got these different fill-in options. You know, if you choose an option something similar to this or this, can you see there is a slight change in the background color or a blue color like this? Where did I go to do this? I've clicked on this format option, the shading option, and I've done it. Can you all please complete this and write done? And I'll wait for all of you. Quickly, let's do it. If I get many dones, I'll go ahead, but please make sure you've done it. Done, everybody? Good. 20 cards. Excellent. Done, everybody. I think good time to go ahead. So you can change the colors from here. If you have a header, you want to add some different color to the header, please modify it. Are you looking at the changes that we are doing? If I put this blue, can you see this header which has got the subcategory will get this blue shade, right? So these are the different formatting options you've got. If you want some grid lines to be added, why not? Those grid lines can also be added, right? Click on any of these grid lines and you will see the difference. Where do you want to apply the grid lines? That really depends. What kind of zero lines do you want to add? Reference line, drop lines, these are the different kind of lines that you can add on the way to the graph. Wonderful. Done, everybody. Thank you for writing dones in the chat. Now, is the formatting clear? And the remaining options of formatting like alignment, shading, borders, lines, I hope you can try on your own, right? So that we can go to the next. The other things that inside the format option you can add is the things like legends. You can generate filters. You can add highlighters and you can also add multiple parameters. You can also specify what kind of a cell size do you need. Do you want a taller cell size? See, the moment I change it, it makes the cell size as bigger. This is particularly useful when your data is very huge and you want to expand it and see, then this option is very useful. Similarly, if I say I want the cell size to be left, control left is the shortcut, you do narrower. It tries to collapse all the things in one go and give you the output. Okay, I'm resetting my chat counter to 0. In the format option, can you all try doing this? Just do one thing. Click on the cell size and try these different options. If it works, please write done in the chat. Excellent. So many of us, I think, have done it. I've got good number of dones. Are you all okay? You're able to catch up? Okay. Anybody who wants me to repeat anything till here? Anybody wants me to repeat these steps? No, done. Okay. All right. Then we can go ahead. So these are the different formatting options, guys, that you have. Grid lines options. Okay. So grid lines options can be selected from the format. Okay. And then click on the format lines. And you can see these are the different grid lines which are available. What color of grid lines do you want? So let's say I wanted to have, many times, again, this is not something that you do every time. Grid lines will help you to make it better readable. From the readability point of view, it makes it very, very easy. Okay, clear, everybody? Clear? Okay, is the grid lines clear now? And then different types of thickness can be selected on the grid lines to make your graph much more explanatory. Okay, Harvind, thank you so much for letting know. Let's go to the next one. In the next slide, after formatting data, so can you see the slide that we have behind this, right? In this slide, what it says is that these are the different colors that you can set on the different texts that I have in terms of the formatting data. Calculations, multiple calculations can be done. You can create multiple calculated fields in Tableau. That is another very useful thing. You can calculate the sum, the max, the ceiling, the floor. These are the different things that you can do. Left, right, upper, lower, again some calculations can be done. So for example, on this slide, you can see there is an order ID option, right? As you click on this order ID options and you right click, you can see the transform and a custom split option. Let's do this. You can always go back just by hitting click on this clear option, or what you can do, click on this arrow. Okay. There is also an option to close it. You can close it from here. Now, in this case, what they are asking us to do is select the order ID, go to transform and custom split. So this is the order ID. And you can see different options like add to sheet, show filter, duplicate, rename, transform, and then click on custom split. I'm waiting for 2 minutes for you to find it, please, quickly, so that you can do the steps with me. Excellent. I will now click on the custom split option. And you can see that it is asking you what to do in the custom split. How should the data be split? Use a separator, split of what? Last elements or the second last elements? Which one you should be splitting, right? And finally click on OK. All right, can you quickly try this option? Okay, done everybody? Any questions? Wonderful. So these are the different things that we got. Now let's look at some quickly, those features which can help us make it very much easy. Now you can do multiple tabular calculations. That is another striking features. The other things which you can do using the tableaus is, you can create very fancy different types of charts. As I told you towards the end, we are going to look into the different types of charts that we can create. So how many total charts are available in the Tableau? It is around 24 charts which are available. 24 charts. Now, what are those different charts? We'll not be able to do all of them in the class session because of the time. We want to cover multiple things with you. So if you get stuck on one thing, then it will be difficult, right? So when it comes to scatter chart, in scatter chart, you can get few points scattered on the data. For example, I wanted to see the population density. Population density. Yeah. So in these cases, wherever I want to do the population density, this kind of charts are very useful. Or some charts like, let's go to the next slide, charts like these, which are called as world maps. Has any one of you seen this before? Excellent. when it comes to the different types of world maps, uh, the more, let's say we are doing a survey to see in this session, different people are from different states, but which people are from maximum number of states, right? So we do a kind of a poll, and at the end of the poll, we generate a graph like this. So in this case, California, let's say, you can visually see that it is of a very big size. So this is showing you that the sum of the sales that has happened in this particular state is actually the maximum, right? Clear, everybody? So this is called as the world maps. Okay, clear. What kind of other things you can do? You can create a chart called line chart. I hope now you are able to understand what are the different charts. So Tableau gives you a line chart option also, which is very powerful, very useful again. Tableau also give you something which is called as a bubble chart. What is the benefit of bubble charts? Again, the bigger the dimension, the bigger the size it is going to represent. So West has got 7,25,514 sales. So you can see bigger the bubble and this. Yes, Ahiba, world map also I'm going to cover. Very briefly, we will look into, just considering the time. The bar charts can be added. You can have tree maps to show the data in the form of the boxes or the rectangles of various sizes. You can have funnel charts like this created. There are some advanced funnel charts. Let's say you want to do a sector wise, different level wise information display. You can also use the advanced funnel chart in that case. I hope that's clear, everyone. Waterfall charts. I wanted to show the cumulative effect of some positive and negative values. I can use the waterfall chart. Right? So waterfall charts can be created. Heat maps can be created to compare the data. What is the trend of the data? Heat map is again very useful. You can create it. You can have fancy pie charts created. Pie charts are again very useful. Bump charts like this, and some reference lines or the grid lines. So these reference lines, you can see the cyan color. This will tell you, let's say you want to identify the below average value, right, of a particular product so that you don't sell that further. And you want to see above average sales of a particular product. This is going to help you. Now, these are some additional assignments which are there, which you can try solving to get a good grasp of this tool. And somebody asked me on the world maps, this is how we can create the maps which can represent the data geographically, right? So in order to represent your data geographically, you can create a map chart, something similar to this, where let's say you got the longitude and the latitude information. You drag and drop in the columns, you can generate the maps, and you can manipulate your maps. There can be so many different options which you can use in order to manipulate the data, right? Any practical application where you feel it can be very useful to have this? Any particular place, where you have seen something similar? Maybe, yes, maybe the sales. I want to see the sales somewhere, and then I want to see how that sale is being useful, right? So these are the different options where you guys can definitely use this data. Is that clear, everybody? Can we draw this world map? Yes? Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to share the Tableau screen. So it says you need to take the longitude and the latitude in the columns and the rows, and in the marks add these values. Can we all do this now? Please do the needful. I have added the columns and I've added the column and the row. Can you all also add it? I'll give you some time to finish this. Drag it and please write done in the chat so I know that you have completed this as well. Done, everybody. Columns is longitude, rows is the latitude. And then all you need to do now is drag these values. So you wanted the sales state wise, right? So let me do it and show you. Take the sales. Now the graph is something like this. Take the sales, sum of the sales. Then take the state, right? And as you hover, would you see some sales on this area? North Dakota is having different sales. Oklahoma is at different sales. Minnesota is at different states, right? Are we able to follow this? Done till here. Good. Waiting for 2 more minutes. Please finish this, guys, so that you get sufficient time. If you want me to repeat, please write repeat and I'll explain you again. Please write done in the chat, and if you want me to repeat, please say repeat. Okay, I think most of us are still trying. Complete it and write done so that we can go ahead. Okay, everybody done? Longitude, latitude clear? And after the longitude and latitude, I hope you have added the sum of sales. Similarly, I'll go to the next thing. I wanted to calculate the profit. I'm going to add the state again. Here, everybody done till here again? And see, the profit also has got added now. Do you see the difference? So they are very, very powerful tabs. You know, now I think we've all in a position where we can appreciate this tool, isn't it? So is the world maps clear? There are so many things that we can still talk about. You're not getting blue dots. The blue dot should come immediately if you follow these steps. Okay, create a new sheet again. This is anyways the last graph, so I'm gonna do these steps again. Are we ready? Can we do this again? Click on the new sheet. Search for longitude. Drag the longitude, put it in the columns, and you'll get something. Okay. The next thing, I'll tell you the reason why it is not coming. Just do this from the fresh. Latitude, drag and put it here. All those who are saying if the dots are not coming, can you just put done in the chat if you get something similar to this? Let's go step by step. Can you write done if you got this? Okay, I can see most of you saying done. Now, what is the next step? After you have done this graph, we want to plot something similar to this. So can you all do one thing now? Take the sales and put it in the cards, this marks option. If you don't do this step, it might give you a problem. So just select sum of sales, click OK. Right, and select the state. Select the state also from the left hand side. Drag and drop. And can you see the dots now? Is the dots coming now? Can you see them? Okay, now it's coming. Excellent. Please write done. Okay, now the next thing that I wanted to show you was the profit. Most of you writing done in the chat, so I know you can go ahead. Profit and select the state again. In the same hover, you will be able to see that there are multiple states now. And in all the states, you can see the profit and the sales have got successfully added. All right, everyone, sorted clear? Superb. Okay, so that's it from the world maps and that's it from the Tableau workshop. So if you have any questions, please can you drop a quick note, a quick chat so I can answer your questions. Questions time, anything general you want to ask on Tableau, Power BI, or maybe anything that comes to your mind. Okay, so no questions. What we are going to do is we will conclude the session if there are no questions. And thank you so much once again for joining the session, everybody. And it was so pleasure to have you this evening. And keep tuned, stay tuned with us so that you can get update on the latest workshops that we are going to conduct. Every month we do conduct a couple of workshops. Please join us and try to take the best out of it. All right. Thank you so much for your kind words and wish you all the very good luck in the future, guys. See you all very soon. Thank you. Thank you, everybody. Thank you so much for your words. Thank you, everybody. Take care.